What's going on, Tech Bear here, and I wanted to bring you a quick fire review for Injustice 2. Injustice 2 is a game that was made by NetherRealm Studios. They're the ones responsible for many of the classic Mortal Kombat games, but more importantly, the reboot that came out a number of years ago. I thought that game was pretty great when it came out. Injustice 1 was also very good. And this is no different. What we're going to do is we're going to go over a few key points and decide whether or not it's worth your $60 today. So, the first thing I want to touch on is the gameplay. The gameplay, as you might expect, is very tight. All of the controls work very well. There's you can do jumping attacks, you can duck, holding back blocks. You can punch and do all these different things. Now, obviously, there is variation in how each hero controls, such as like the nuances of their attacks. Some people are more vertical attackers. Some of them are more horizontal type attackers. Some of them are more projectile style attackers. But all in all of the characters control very fluidly. The game runs at 60 frames per second, no matter what console that you buy it on. There are some graphical improvements if you buy it on the PS4 Pro, and what I assume will be Project Scorpio when that's released. I would say graphics overall are very, very good. Very good. The lighting engine in this is superb. All of the facial animations are done very, very well, and I think that they put a lot of care into each of the environments. You've got an old carnival where the Joker would duel it out. Okay, you've got a spaceship that you fight on. You go and you fight in like what looks like Egypt. The Bat Cave, a lot of like iconic places. And they all look just great. All the cutscenes look really good and use the in-game engine. So what you see during the cutscenes is how the game is rendered during the actual fights as well. Now, what it looked like to me is that the cutscenes were actually running at about 30 frames per second, where the actual gameplay is running at 60 frames per second, but I don't think that takes away from anything too much. I mean, I guess it would have been okay to see it at 60 frames, but I wonder how perhaps unnatural it might look if it was running smoother. I don't know, but it's not a knock on the game at all. I think that regardless of that, I think that it's very, very good. To touch on the sound design, sound design is pretty top notch. I can't pick any musical tracks that really pulled me in, but all of the special effects attacks, all of the the hits, things like that, they all sound really, really good. The menu isn't annoying. Overall the sound design is very good. I wanted to touch on replayability a little bit. The replayability in this game, I just think is really high. So in addition to having your regular story mode, you also have multiplayer, which is a must for a fighting game. In addition to that, you've got what they call the multiverse. And what the multiverse is it has a series of timed objectives where you have all these different instances of Earth, right? And you essentially play a ladder system where there are different challenges that you can accomplish on these planets. So let's say you've got one where you have to fight 3 people, and one of the challenges might be that they are overpowered, which means you can't block any of their attacks. So now you have to try to get through that section without dying. But you can lose, but overall it gives you a score at the end, and you get rewards based on how you do. So with that said, you also have levels for all of the different fighters, the heroes and the villains, and you also have gear that you can unlock through doing the multiverse, and that gear you can equip to your heroes or villains, and it will give them statistical increases, or it will actually give them sort of different abilities, things like that. And in that menu as well, you can also sort of change their costumes up a little bit. You'll unlock things like that just as you play the game, but certainly also as you progress through the multiverse. And I found this mode to be probably the most fun. While I enjoyed the storyline, and I won't spoil anything here, I think that overall, the multiverse is my favorite aspect of the game, because I can grind it out with each of my heroes or my villains And if I get more gear, I feel like I'm really progressing, and I feel like it just adds a little bit of edge to the game. Now, once you level up these heroes or villains, you can take them online, and you can battle with other players. Now, during these multiplayer matches, you have obviously your ranked play, your unranked play, but also tournament play. The tournament play takes away all of your armor and all of your additional abilities if you have them unlocked and equipped to any of your characters. Some of the abilities that you unlock don't necessarily add, let's say, moves, but they can add little bits of flair to something that may have already existed and or alter an existing move. So rather than adding something to your arsenal to give you an edge over your opponent, it may just change up the way that you fight. But once again, in tournament mode, you don't have that at your disposal. You're essentially playing the vanilla heroes and or villains as they came packaged in the game before you made any of the changes. So to close this all out, do I think that this game is worth your $60? Yes, I do. I bought the game for $60. Obviously, I don't get review copies, so I feel like this is definitely worth my money, and I can see me sinking a lot of time into this, especially because I'm a DC kind of guy, but you don't necessarily have to be a DC fanboy to enjoy this game, because it's a great fighter. Maybe not better than, say, something like Street Fighter or Tekken, but it's definitely competent, and it's a lot of fun with friends. If you have people that'll sit down and play some good old couch co-op with you, I can see this game being hours and hours of fun. But if single player is your thing, then the multiverse is the thing to come here for. It's a lot of fun, upgrading your characters is awesome, and becoming more powerful is always a good thing. So if you liked the review, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. If you didn't, hit the dislike button and let me know what you think that I could improve upon in the future. As always, if you have any questions or comments, leave me a comment below, and you know where to find me, right here on the Tech Bear channel. Thanks for watching.